Hello, everybody. Thank you for being patient with me as I was running a little bit late this morning, but we're just going to jump right into it. And I hope everyone had a very blessed, Happy New Year and a great Christmas or whatever you celebrate. So first of all, everyone, what we're going to do is you could either be standing or you could be sitting, or we're just going to start with our warm up. So I'm actually going to move my chair out of the way so that I have enough room to do this, and I'll get back to our chair exercises today. So everybody, what I want you to do is we're going to do the shoulder roll, which I'm famous for. So we're just going to take our shoulders and we're just going to go forward with them. We're just going to take some deep breaths. We're just going to open up our upper body. And we're just going to roll forward 5 times. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to take the shoulder roll back. So we're going to go backwards now. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so what I want you guys now to do is just get your heart rate up. I want everyone to either walk or you could jog in place depending on what you feel comfortable with, or you can bounce. For me personally, I kind of like to just loosen up my body and start with a light jog. So we're going to just do this now for about 15 seconds, and you can count in your head. I'm going to count out loud for you guys. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And we're going to stop. Now, don't abruptly stop, but just kind of like slow down your pace. Because remember, we don't want to take our heart rate from here to immediate stoppage. We just want to kind of go down. Take a couple more deep breaths. And when you feel like you're ready, you can just finally stop. Okay. So for anyone who is either standing or seated, I'm actually just going to do a couple light stretches, and I'm going to work on my lower body stretches, and then we'll do maybe some upper body to start our warm up too. So what I'm going to do is, for those of you who have a chair, and you actually don't need a chair for this either, but it's just for a more modified version, just for balance purposes when we falls over. We're going to take our chair. We're going to position it in front of us, and it doesn't have to be any special type of way. We're going to take one hand, and this is my left leg now that I'm going to just bring back and pull back. So this is actually just like a quad stretch, and it's also just going to stretch out my leg a little bit because my leg actually today is a little bit tight from the cold. I know we don't really talk about injuries as much, but today's actually a perfect example to have your body loose, to have your body warm, because if you suffer from arthritis, any rheumatoid issue, autoimmune disease, or a sports injury like myself, I've been an athlete since I've been 5 years old, and that's not a joke. I'm 29 now. Injuries and the cold do not mix hand in hand. So today, for any reason, if you're feeling achy or you just that old sports injury from like football back in the day is still bothering you, today's a good day to loosen your body and get it warm today. So we're gonna take our hand now. This is my right hand, and I'm gonna just take my my left hand and I'm gonna wrap it around where the front of my ankle would be. So my ankle is here. I'm gonna just come to the front. I'm gonna hold it, and I'm actually just gonna bring it back. Now what this does is, for me, it just stretches out the lower part, just because my knee's been acting up a little bit. And we're just gonna hold that now for 5 seconds. All you're supposed to do is feel a light pull, nothing strenuous. 2, 3, 4, and 5. For anybody who has issues with their legs, you don't have to do this. You could actually just skip this part. This is more for a little bit more for my advanced people who have the flexibility. And then what we're going to do now is with the other leg, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to grab, so the left hand is going to be on the chair. We're going to hold it now. And we're going to take our other leg, other hand. That's what happens when you have your coffee in the morning. And you're going to wrap it around your ankle, and you're just going to slightly bring it back. And you're just going to hold it now for 5 seconds. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Excellent. Now, the beautiful thing about that is that your body's already loose. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's called static stretching. Don't quote me though. But the whole thing is though, whenever you do stretches, you never want to just jump into a stretch. That's why I had you guys do like the light warm up of just like walking or jogging in place. Because your body's already loose and the muscles already sort of are releasing tension. All right. So now what we're going to do is now we're just going to get back into our position, just standing. For anyone who wants to, they could also, I'm actually going to do this seated for my people who are seated. Just because we're still in our warm up, we're just going to open up our upper body. I want you to bring your legs out, get comfortable. You can come off the seat a little bit. So you see how my legs are outward in this position. So you're just going to almost like a sumo squat. You're just going to do a sumo sit. And then for anybody who's standing, you could just kind of get into your tree position. And we're just going to open up the airway. So we're going to take our hands, and we're going to go up. We're going to breathe, and we're going to stretch. We're going to reach towards the ceiling with our head back. And we're going to arch our back just a little bit. So if you see from this position, from where I would be, this is what the side profile will look like from here. So I want you to come up and out like that. So my hands are reaching toward the ceiling, but they're back. My lower back is arched. My chest is up, and my head is forward, okay? I'm only gonna do that a handful of times just to kind of open up our airways and open up our lower body too, because we're in this like almost like sumo position. And you're gonna hold it now for 3 seconds. And for anybody who is standing, it's gonna look like that. So you're just gonna be in your stance. And for you guys, you actually have the flexibility to go a little bit more further back. So for anyone who's standing, you know, you can go a little bit further back. Remember, the point is not to hurt yourself, it's to just get a stretch in. And you're gonna hold it for 3 seconds, 2, and 3. Okay. So at this point, you should feel a little bit loose, a little bit warm, a little bit more flexible. And now we're actually gonna get into our upper body workout for today. So for anybody who knows me, I've been doing combat sports for many years now. I'm still in training. I'm getting my certification now through Imperial Combat, and I'm also in the process of creating my own fitness program, probably here at Crestwood at some point or another, beyond this one. So for everyone who knows about fighting, I want you to get into your stance. For anyone who is a beginner, if you're a regular orthodox fighter, right hand is going to come up to your face, left hand is going to come out to protect your face, right leg is going to be back, almost like in a tree stance, and your left leg is going to be forward. For anybody who's a southpaw, that is going to be reversed, meaning if you're a left-hand fighter, you're left-hand dominant. That means the right is going to come forward, your left foot's going to come out. This is your power hand if you're a southpaw. So that means this is my power hand, this is what I throw with, and the right hand is going to come up to protect my face, right? So for anyone, I'm a righty, so I'm going to get into my regular orthodox stance. My thing is my right side is back. That's where my power is coming from. And the front hand, which is my left, is like the pepper hand. It pepper shots, meaning we throw out and we come back. Okay? So does anyone get to their fighting stance? Please do so if you've been with me. And I'm not just following along because we're just going to do some basic combinations and punches. For anyone who wants to sit down, that's perfectly fine. We appreciate all levels of fitness here. That's the beautiful thing about this class. So we're just going to get our hands up. And it depends for anyone who is a right fighter. What you're going to do is, for me, and since this is my dominant hand, I'm going to keep my right hand a little bit closer to my face now. And I'm going to keep my left hand out because remember, this is the one that pepper shots. Doesn't matter if you're standing or if you're sitting. You could do both at any point. You don't need a lot of distance in order to pack a punch whenever you throw it. It's going to be the same thing now for the reverse. So again, if I'm a southpaw fighter and I'm lefty dominant, what that means now is that it's going to be the same. It's going to be the opposite. So this is my right and this is my left. So this is my power hand that's going to come back towards my face because this is where my power is coming from now with the cross. And this is going to be my pepper shot. Okay? And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to always ask me. I'll be more than happy to stop and I'll repeat myself. I'm going to stand for this. So please remain seated if you feel comfortable seated, depending on your level of fitness. Everybody get into your stance, right hand back. I'm going to walk you through the first combination for today. So the first part of our workout is going to just be demonstrating upper body. So we're working everything, biceps, triceps, shoulders, upper back, chest muscles. So, and again, our stance Remember, I always do, you're not on a tabletop, you're not doing this. You're going to get into your tree stance, which means that if someone comes to push you, they're not going to knock you over and your core is strong. So for me, we're gonna get into our stance now, and then we're gonna do a 1-2-3 combination. If anyone actually has some mixed martial arts experience or boxing experience, that's gonna be the jab, the cross, and then we're gonna finish with the hook, or a 1, 2, and 3. But I'm gonna walk everybody through it now for the beginners who have never been to this class, because it's so important that not everybody may know something. And today we get to start over, where we get to teach them all over again. All right, so hands up, right hand back for my righties, left hand in front, okay? And then we're gonna throw out the number 1, which is my jab, which is my left hand. So we're gonna go 1, we're gonna bring it back. 1, and bring it back. And you see how I'm turning over my punch like that? And you bring it back? That's what you wanna do. You don't wanna just lazily throw it out. You wanna throw it out and bring it back. So we're gonna turn it over and bring it back. Okay, so we're gonna practice that a couple times, and then I'm gonna add in the second part to this combination. And then we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna 1, 2, and 3, and then we're gonna put it all together. So right now we're just in our like practice little session, and then we'll get to our 1, 2, 3, and then I'll go through the count with you. So hands up. So we're just gonna do our 1, 1, 1, bring it back, 2 more, 1, 1, 1. Excellent. Now, one thing I want you guys to remember: whenever you throw out that punch, and this could be in fighting or in general, if ever you would ever throw a punch, you always bring it back to your face. Do never leave your hand out here. Someone can come down and then you're open for an attack or anything like that. Always bring it back. Even if you're a beginner and you're scared of fighting or anything like that, just in general, it's always important. Remember, this is your money face. This is your prize right here. Other than the rest of your body, of course, but this is the money maker, and this is what you have to protect at all times, right? All right. So now that we have mastered our 1, we're gonna throw the 2 now. So the 2 is gonna look like this. So it's my right hand on this side, and I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna throw it. So the 2 is a whole body punch. It's not like the jab. The jab comes from here, from the front. But the thing is, where my stance are, if I lean a little bit more backwards, if I lean more towards the back of my body, all that force is coming with me. This is normally what you call a knockout punch for some people, like Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard. So I'm gonna come up now and we're gonna practice our 2 now, okay? So we're in our stance now. I'm a little bit more lean back because I'm gonna throw some weight into this punch. We're gonna come with our 2. The left hand stays here, not glued to your face, but like right in front of your face to protect it, like a little shield. And we're gonna throw 2, okay? So we're gonna do that 5 times. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And you see how I'm turning now? You see how my my right leg is turning over? It's because I'm throwing with momentum. I'm throwing with force. Kind of like in physics, like there's something behind it now. There's an alternative force that's pushing me to go forward. So it's not like when I throw, I'm just kind of doing that, or I'm just kind of just throwing with my upper body. That's not the purpose of this. So we're gonna take this 3 more times with the 2, okay? With the cross. So 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Now we're gonna work on our hook. So this is the 3 parts. This is the last part of the first combination. And you're gonna see it. I know it may seem a little bit mundane right now, but once we put everything together and then we're on to our second part of our upper body, it's gonna be really easy because you're only gonna have another punch to incorporate. And then we'll move on. So, all right, so now we're gonna get into our stance. And now we're gonna finish with the hook. So we're gonna go back to the left hand, except the hook is gonna come out, right? So it almost looks as if you're throwing an elbow, but when you come out, you're punching on a horizontal now. So from the side, it looks like this. You know, depending on where you, some fighters take it out here. Some, for the boxers, we're more kind of concise with our punches. Muay Thai, they're kind of like it out here where it's like an actual hook. But for fighters who kind of fight within their means, which is here, and you're very close to an opponent, when you finish, you know, you can bring it out, but like for me personally, like I kind of keep my jab tight because it's a punch that can get caught very easily. So again, we're gonna come from here, we're in our stance again, and then we're gonna throw the 3. And you see this part of my body is now turning with the hook. So we're here now, and we're turning into our hook. And we're gonna take that 5 times with the number 3, okay? So this is our 3. So we're gonna go 1, and we're gonna bring it back. 2, and we're gonna bring it back. 3. And we're gonna bring it back. 4. And we're gonna bring it back. One more. 5. And we're gonna bring it back. So you just completed the first part before we even actually started the actual workout. So you got the basics down. So 1, 2, and 3. So I'm gonna go through that now in one fluid motion, and then we're gonna start our repetitions. So again, everybody in your stance, following along, and we're gonna go jab, cross, hook. And you could say that mantra to yourself. You could do jab, cross, hook, or you could do 1, 2, and 3. Personally, I like the numbers because once you know what the number is symbolic for, it becomes way more easier. All right, so everyone's in their stance. We're actually going to start now, and our first set is going to be 10 of these. So one fluid set, so 1, 2, and 3 is 1. So by the end of it, you guys are going to be hating me, but by the end of it, you're also going to work up a sweat, your heart rate's going to be up, and you're going to feel great about yourself. All right, so we're going to get into that stance now. We're going to get nice into our tree position. We're going to get comfortable with each other. We're going to put our hands up, not too close. And we're going to start. So ready? I'm counting on the bell. 1, 2, go. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. 3, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Time. All right, so now I just want you to step with me. Step with me. We're gonna do that for just 5, 10 seconds. Because at this point, your heart rate should be up. And if it's not, that means you gotta push one. All right, we're gonna stop. Get into our position. We're gonna do that again another 10 times. All right? We don't believe in the new year, new me motto. We believe in doing the work and taking it into the new year. So that's what we're doing now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. And what I want you to visualize as you're doing it, you don't just keep along, you keep going for yourself. Remember, if there's an opponent in front of you, don't pretend if there is somebody in front of you, not to keep your punches low. For me, I'm doing it for camera purposes, but something I'm taught from one of my coaches, actually visualize an opponent in front of you. So see the person in front of you and what you would do in an actual fight, because we fight like we train, and vice versa. So we're on number 5 right now. Back into that position. 6, 7, 8. And one thing I haven't mentioned too is like when I throw, we're on number 8 now. So 1, 2, 3. I always kind of bring myself back to position if you notice. So whenever I'm out, my immediate reaction is to recede backwards and to come back in. Unless you're someone who's fighting in the pocket, which means you're getting very close to your opponent, you always kind of want to regroup yourself. You never want to stay in there with someone. You want to come back so you can reset and move. So you're going to come up now. We're going on number 9. And we're going to finish strong with the knockout. Excellent. All right, we're going to get those legs up. For anyone who's seating, you can do the same thing. You can move your arms in place. So for anyone people who are seated, what I want you to do is, like if we're ever doing a cool down, just in like the midst of a combination, the goal for this is to move your arms, literally, and to go a little bit faster than you normally would in our last couple sessions. Now, what we're doing is almost like a progressive overload, which means that whenever you work with me, if you have worked with me in the past, your goal is to push yourself than where you were last time. So if your legs are coming up here, I want them to come up here this time. Even if you're warming up, so that way you can work out other parts of your body. Okay? Excellent job, everybody. All right, so we're going on number 3 set, okay? So it's the same thing. We're going to do our 1, 2, 3 combinations. So, okay? And we're going on our last set of 10. All right, let's go, champs. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more, guys. Come on. 1, 2. Last one. Make it count. See your boss in front of you. See that person give you the parking ticket. 1, 2, 3. All right, everybody. Good job. All right. So we're gonna take a couple more deep breaths now. We just walk in place, everybody. Anyone sitting down. Take a couple deep breaths. If you need to take a sip of water, feel free. So we're actually still in our upper body workout still. And this is where I do, we're gonna incorporate a 4th punch into it. So we're gonna take that 3-piece combo. We're gonna add number 4 to it. So take a minute. Oh, less than a minute actually. Take our deep breaths, get our body back to equilibrium. And now we're gonna get back to our stance. So for this part of it, I'm actually gonna show the 4 punch sitting down, just so that my people who are sitting down feel included. Because everybody's welcome, that all their beginners, at all their beginning levels. So I'm gonna take a seat for anyone who's standing, remain standing. All right, so now we're gonna incorporate the number 4 punch. So everything that we did is still gonna remain the same. So our 1, 2, 3 is still the same. Nothing changed from just the previous combination. We're just adding on a number 4. That's why I had you walk through the first 3 with me. And then number 4 is just a body shot. It's an uppercut. So what we're gonna do is, for everyone who's seated, you could just remain in your regular seating position. You don't have to have your legs out here or anywhere like here. I'm just gonna come here. We're gonna just come here with our basic stance because we're not standing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4 is gonna come up from here. So what that'll look like from the side, right? So my hand's here, right? So 4 is normally a body shot when you give it, but it also could be a chin shot whenever you actually are in combat sports. So the beautiful thing is, normally you could come down here, and what happens is that the hand turns over. So from this position, like I'm gonna actually move forward a little bit because I need a little bit more leverage, a little more room. So I'm here, right? So I'm 1, 2, 3, and let's just say I'm in this position, right? As an actual someone who's sparring, for instance. Let's say my opponent's right here and I'm protected on this side, which is why my hand is up here, right? I'm gonna come up with that with my right hand, which is my number 4 now. And what's gonna happen is, you see how it's almost sort of like cocked back a little bit? Like I bring that almost like a little slingshot. We're gonna bring our little slingshot back and we're gonna fire upward. So what it looks like is go 1, 2, 3, and pow, number 4. This is also considered a knockout punch for a lot of people. This is the one where it's almost like, not a sucker punch, but almost like it could be a Superman punch, but not fully Superman, but it's the beginning of it. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's gonna come up and we're gonna go 4 upwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're gonna keep it close to you, but you're gonna visualize something that you're hitting. It could be anything, it could be a bag, it could be someone's chin, it could be something. But just remember, when you're trying to hit, you're trying to aim for something. You're not just throwing your punches anywhere. So it defeats the purpose of what we're doing here. So we're gonna come, and for you guys too, I actually want you to keep this sort of, not tight to your body, but I want you to keep it tight though. No, I don't want you to keep it excessively close to your body, but I want you to keep it tight. I want you to keep it tucked in. Because when you keep it tucked in, you're not sloppy, you're not out here, you're not like doing that, you're here so that it's controlled and you could like move, but you can fire though and bring it back to your face. Okay? And now I'm gonna do from the standing position. And the beautiful thing is, for anyone who's seated, you'll get a great workout just by being sitting down too. And I just want you guys to know that it's so important that both of my classes, no matter what level that you're at, that you feel is that you're being really appreciated for where you're at right now. So trust me, you're gonna get a workout with me today. All right, so everybody in their stance, all my people who are seating in your stance, in your regular stance, we're gonna do our hands up. We're gonna practice our 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna incorporate the 4. So we're gonna go 1, which is our jab, 2, which is our cross, 3 is the hook, and number 4 is the up here. So we're gonna come here, we're gonna practice that again. So if we're here, right, or let's say we're just positioned here, this is 4. So we're gonna bring that hand up, and we're gonna throw, just completely let down. We're gonna throw our number 4. All right, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, our uppercut. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And And it's going to be the reverse for anybody who is on the left-hand side, who's a left-sided fighter. So the the punches are going to be the same, except they're just going to be the reverse in terms of hand. Okay? All right. So we're going to get into our position now. We're going to the 1, 2, 3, and number 4. And if you feel as if you're off balance, what I want you to do is widen out your stance. Because if you throw and you feel like your body's doing that, that's wrong. That's not the correct way to do it. One thing I've learned is that technique is so important, and so is form, because the more you do it, the correct form and the correct technique, you're able to throw a more accurate punch, a more powerful punch, and you're able to get a better workout than you kind of just lollygagging it, which is what we don't want. So we're going to get into a wide stance. We'll put our hands up. We're going to start now. So just follow along the best you can. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one I'm going to slow down until we all get it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. All right. Gonna walk with me now. Gonna break that up. More body still. Never underestimate a good walk or good jog. I think nowadays people tend to overcomplicate workouts, and sometimes simpler is so much better. You do something very simple and you do it repetitively, and you add something every single time, you'll see the results like that. Don't ever underestimate the power of simplicity. All right, we're gonna get back into our stance. For anyone who's seated, if you remain seated, hands up in our positions. And we're gonna start with our 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna go on our second set now. So we've already done 10 now. We're going on to 20 now, okay? So this is our second set of 10. So ready? Go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And now we're gonna pick it up, okay? So do your best to follow along with me or speed it up yourself. All right, let's do it. So we're going on number 3. 2. That's 4. 5. 6. 7. And you see how my body goes into it? Now, when we fight normally, my coach always likes it. You could throw your uppercut from here with just like the upper body. But for me personally, let's say you really are going for a knockout, or you're in a really crowded position, and if you're here, you could throw it so the punch comes up with you with all that momentum. So now we're on number 5. So we're gonna go 6, 7, excellent, everybody, get up. 8, 9, one more, let's go. Excellent. All right, let's bring it back. We're gonna breathe. Everyone's hands up. I'm touching my disco ball for the year. Hey. We're gonna bring it up. Something I personally like to do when I'm getting into shape, if I find that my lungs are burning, and they aren't right now, but one thing I like to mention to you is sort of, if you ever in a situation where you feel like you're out of shape and you're just getting back into it, and you feel like you're sucking wind pretty much where you can't really breathe, what you're gonna do is just hold your hands up, and take a deep breath. So what it's gonna do is, it's gonna push up your lungs, and it's gonna open up your chest. That's gonna enable your lungs to expand a little bit more. And you just hold it up there. And if you have to, you look up too, just like we were doing in our stretches earlier today. But that's one thing that I found though too, is that it enables you to breathe a little bit deeper, especially on those days when you're not in the best shape and you're actually still trying to get your conditioning level to where it once was, whether you're back in your 20s or back in high school even, or even now if you're a beginner. So just throw those hands up, take a deep breath, and ground yourself. It's all part of the process. All of the pain is all part of it. It just transforms you into a different person. That's all in life. and in boxing. All right, guys, so we're gonna do one more set now. This is number 30, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do just another set of 10, or 1, 2, 3, and number 4, and then we're gonna transition into our lower body, and we're gonna get into a little bit of our kicking styles, some mixed martial arts, and also something new today. We're gonna do knees today, which is pretty cool. All right, guys, so we're gonna finish off strong, and then we're gonna take our first water break after this. So we're gonna get into that stance. We're gonna come up now, and we're gonna finish out. We're doing our last 10 set of 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, ready, guys? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bring it up, 7, 8, 9. Let's go. One more. And then end it. One more, guys. One more. Let's go. We're going into 2023 stronger this year. All right. Let's bring it back. All right, everybody. So what I want you to do now is you throw your hands up, throw your hands up. If you want, we're actually going to take our first water break. So we're going to take 10 seconds now. So it takes 10 seconds for you to ground yourself. I'm going to take a sip of water right now. And we're going to do this time check to see how we're doing today. Remember, and now is the time that you need to take a break, get water, get your drink, go to the bathroom, come back, and we'll transition into our next exercise. We'll do a quick time check. Excellent. We're doing it, guys. We're killing it already. Coming into 2023 strong. All right, everybody. So our upper body, we're killing it up here. Now we're going to transition into our lower body. All right. So normally I've done kicks with you guys in the past. So I figured I wanted to switch it up a little bit. It's the same, but it's not the same. It's sort of derivative, but it's not. But I mean, we'll figure it out together, right? All right. So one thing that I personally I'm a huge fan of, and I don't see it in a lot of fighting, is knees. I think it's something that's totally underestimated, whether it's, you know, you're out there in real life, or if not, like if you're learning how to do a skill in Muay Thai and kickboxing, or just regular kickboxing. Or in combat skills. This is something great for women to know, and men too, depending if you're a smaller stature male having to defend yourself. I personally love to do work with knees, so this is more of like a modified version because I don't have an actual person that I can show you how to throw a knee response or just a knee as a strike. So for now, we're just going to do a modified version of it, and maybe one day at some point we'll get someone in here to kind of help us go through some maybe more real combat style stuff so I can teach you. All right, so we're gonna just get into our basic stance, and then I'm gonna do the modified version for you guys in just a moment. So what I like to do when I'm doing my knees, we're gonna start on our right side today. I'm gonna take my hands, right? I'm gonna bring them together. And kind of like in our fighting stance before, kind of like that, my tree trunk, I want that same stance for you guys because it gives you a great sense of balance and groundedness from the hips down. So you're not sort of, wobbly, or you're not unbalanced. And that's what I want for this, because when you throw it, you'll understand. Take my two hands, we're gonna come up, and on the right side now, I'm gonna bring my hands up, and the exercise is gonna look like this. We're gonna go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's gonna be the same on the left. So if you want, feel free to switch your stance. That means the right leg would come up in the front and the left leg would come back. And it's going to be the same thing now. You don't have to do anything special with your hands. The whole point is just to kind of keep this over here. And I'll explain why in a minute. So we're going to come here, and we're going to come up, here, up, So what we're doing is we're doing two things. We're working our lower body. We're working our abs for this. But we're also learning how to actually throw a strike. If someone were here in front of me generally, what would happen is in any type of combat fighting, let's say you have somebody by the shoulders, right, and you can't get them off of you for whatever reason. There'll be someone who is an opponent who's bigger than you, who's maybe 3 times your size. I lift, but I also know that there are men that are maybe 250 who are animals in the gym. And, you know, God forbid you're ever in a situation and you know how to get out of it. And someone's got you like this or has you here, right? What you want to do, that same thing that we just did, the hands change because the hands that were like this emulate the hands that will be on somebody's shoulders if you're trying to kind of break free from them. And what you're going to do is that right leg that I showed you before, You know, see how they would come up? Well, guess what? The hands are gonna be here now, and you're gonna go straight up. And that could be a groin, that could be a chest shot, that could just be from here, 1, 2, 3. And you keep doing that until you hit and land on something. I won't get into specifics, but that's where it actually comes from. That like derived exercise actually comes from a tactic that we do, and whether it's defense or anything else, especially if someone has you by here, or if you have them and you're trying to break free, it's important. Ladies, use those knees. That's what they're there for. This here and this here are one of the deadliest weapons that you could have because it's bone on bone or on skin. So the knees and the elbows. If you take anything out of today, remember elbows and knees. All right, and then now we're just going to transition to our chair people, and it's going to be the same exercise. So what you're going to do is you're going to be in your regular stance. You can come up a little bit if you need to give yourself support. We're going to take our hands from here, almost like in a start position, and we're going to come up and up, 1 and up, 1 and up, and the same on the left. So we're going to go here. We're going to take them from up here, and we're going to bring our knee up. We're going to bring our knee up, and we're going to touch. So from the hands, we're just going to bring the knee up, and we're going to touch, and it's going to work down here. Okay. So when we come up, we're all going to come up together. We're going to touch, and the alternate looks like this. And it's the same thing for standing. So this is the alternate. We're going to come up, and we're going to come down. We're going to come up, and we're going to come down. Okay? So we have it. So that's the right side, the left side, and the alternate for sitting. And then for standing, it's self-explanatory. It's going to be the same thing. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to do another brief time check. We're great on time. And what we're going to do is now we're just going to get into whatever position makes you feel comfortable and confident. Remember, it's about balance at this point. So for me, I'm going to take my hands, and we're going to start on our right side, guys. So just hands together, up, 2, 3, and we're going to take this 10 times, okay? So we're on number 3 now. So up, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. I'm actually going to switch it up. Instead of just doing 10, 10, 10, it's boring. We're going to switch it up. So we're going to do the 10 on this side. We're going to do 10 on this side, okay? So we're going to do 10 on our left now, okay? Now remember, it's all about stability. So whatever stance makes you feel comfortable. My people here too, you're going to do your left side now, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Last one. Excellent job, everybody. So we did 10 and 10. We're going to bring it back down. Number 10 over here on the right side. All right, so we're going to go up. And we're going to start. 1, 2. And for my people who are standing, one thing I want you to do is when you hit your knee, I want you to hit your knee hard. Don't obviously hit it to hurt the side of your hands. That's not the point of this drill. But what I want you to do is to have like a visual impact where it's like if you actually were to throw a knee at someone and not for for defensive purposes. If you ever on the defense, not to actually harm. That's the whole point of this, is to learn how to defend. So we're going to come up here, right? And you throw it, throw something behind it. Do not just go through the drills. Don't waste your time and don't waste mine. We're going to come up and we're going to throw. All right, so 1, 2. You see that stop? Let's do it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent, guys. And we're going to switch back over to the left-hand side now. When we get really good, we're going to go back and forth in a second, okay? So we're going to come up now, and we're going to hit that left knee, all right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. If you need to take a pause for whatever reason, please feel free. Just put my phone down for a second. We're going to do 10 again, and 10 again, and then we're going to alternate, okay? You guys are doing excellent. I'm very proud of you. For my people who are beginners and for all my advanced people, keep on going. Hands up, get in that position. Ready? Go. 1, 2. Pretend this is your little target pad. The knee has to hit here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. And we're going to switch over now. We're going to come up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, for you guys, you need to take it a little bit slower. You can do a little slower too. Remember, it's not about quickness. It's about technique, form, and efficiency. I'd rather have you hit a little bit harder, get your form right, and be balanced than to grow and you're like over here. All right, number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job, everybody. All right, guys. So you should be really proud of yourself. You've done like 30 on each side, which is it's like 60 in total. And even from earlier, we did 3 sets of 10 on both sides. So it's about our 60 strikes total. Take a moment and just be really proud of yourself, because this is something that like the boxers and the mixed martial artists do within an hour, probably a lot more. But if anybody who's a beginner who's still with me, great job for pushing. Let's get it, okay? All right, everybody. So we've done right side, left side, right side, left side. All right, so we're gonna do kind of switched up. So now we're gonna do right and then left. So instead of doing just the right side and then we're gonna switch over to the left, we're gonna do right, left, right, left. So we're gonna alternate one after the other now, okay? So now this is gonna get a little bit more intense now, which is what we want, because we're gonna bring it up, and then we're probably gonna end with either some abdominals, more abdominal muscles, yoga, or standing abs. I haven't decided yet, just because I had a couple ideas for today. We're gonna get back into our stance, and we're gonna start on our right, and then we're gonna alternate. So I'll just show you really quickly. Come up, right side, left side. That's 1. Right side, left side. And for my people who are seated, it's gonna be the same thing. So 1 set. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's 1. Okay. So we're gonna go right, and then we're gonna go left. All right, everybody. So now we're gonna get into our stance. We're gonna come up, and we're gonna start. So 1, 2. Another thing you could do too is, depending on what leg is up front. So my right leg comes up and it comes back. My left leg is in position. I could just bring this up already. For me, for fighters, you actually can switch stance, which means it'll look like this, where it's like, and then you could sort of do like your little pivot. You don't have to do that though for the beginner, intermediate people, or advanced people. You can switch your stance and do it. But for this purposes, it's like people who are somewhere in the middle. We're gonna go right, and we're gonna bring our left leg up, down. See how I'm sort of on that tabletop, like I'm positioned. So my right leg comes up, my left leg comes up afterwards, so that I'm not out of balance. Okay, everybody. So we're gonna go on our right, and then we're gonna do this. We're gonna do, remember, right, left is 1 set, and then we're gonna do that 10 times, and then we're gonna transition to the next exercise. So we're gonna come up now. Let's start. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. All right. Take a couple deep breaths with me now. And you should start to feel it right here in your gut, because that's where it's going to be targeting, other than obviously throwing the strikes to the knee. And you're just going to walk with me now. Normally, in any type of like combat sports, fighting, or any type of style, normally we would do jump rope, but for these purposes, it's a little bit easier, for people who can't jump, or they have bad knees, or they're not able to. So I always like to bring it here. Nice little jog, keep my heart rate going. I'm gonna take another sip of water. Go for a little time check. We got 15 minutes, so we're gonna see what our next exercise is gonna be. You got everyone, you're doing wonderful, by the way. Very proud of you. Give yourself a moment of recognition and to be proud. Getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning and eat earlier for the trainer. It's not always easy on a Saturday. But one thing I wanted to take away going into from 2022 into 2023 is discipline. And it's truly an act of self-love. So for anybody who's here with me from the very beginning, even though I can't see you, just know that there's a lot of love from me to you for just being here with me today, helping me grow and change and evolve. And I hope in some ways these exercises have helped you grow and change and evolve. Maybe prior to this, you didn't think that you could do something. I don't believe in doing these extravagant, extreme exercises that people can't do, because that's like very defeating. So, you know, when you come here, it's important that you feel loved and that you know that you can kick some butt. I would curse, but I'm on camera. I can't do that. So now we're just gonna do our pull down. We're just gonna march in place. I'm gonna take a couple another deep breaths. And the last thing we're actually gonna end with today is just some kicks. So we did a lot of lower body, which is beautiful. We incorporated knees today. The knees are also another thing incorporated with abs, and we did our upper body. And then at the very end, the last like 5 minutes, I'm gonna just do a couple, you know, poses for yoga basics that I know. This is, you know, drop our heart rate, respiratory rate, just come down. All right, everybody. So for anybody who's known with me from the very beginning, we're just gonna do a basic front kick, which I'm gonna do the seated position, but first I'll start with the standing. So everyone can get into your stance from earlier today. And what we're gonna do is for our front kick, we're gonna bring our leg up and we're gonna pop it out and we're gonna bring it back down. Same thing on our left. So I'm gonna switch my stance now just because it's easier for me. If you can't, just remember, just do something that's comfortable. You could actually bring it up like that. You don't have to switch, you just have to pivot your weight. So for me, if I'm in this position now and you see how my weight is slanted towards my right, my hands are gonna be up now. The right leg is gonna come up, it's gonna pop out and it's gonna come back. For anybody, when we switch over who doesn't feel comfortable switching their stance, you could do the right, bring it down, come here, bring up the left foot, bring it out, and then come back. For people who are advanced, when we alternate, right, down, switch over, left, switch over. Or we're gonna come and we're gonna switch our feet. So right, down, switch, okay? And this is a very basic kick, and this is why I use it, because it's effective. This is pretty much like kind of like we were doing with the knees. It's a groin shot. If you're ever in an altercation, and the same with women, it's targeted towards the groin, the stomach, whatever it is, or towards the abdominal. People often forget that the abdominal is like one of the more softer regions of the body, especially with fighting. You learn too when your coach tells you to switch levels. What that means is you start from the top and you go towards the body. So you start with the head and you work your way down, because right here, if fighters don't do a lot of conditioning, you take a lot of damage to here. If there's damage here, the body falls. It's like a tree. It's like you keep cutting it at the size of a tree, eventually at some point or another, the head will fall. So it's the same thing with this kick. When you kick someone hard enough, you can knock the wind right out of them. And depending on where you land and who they are, you know, you really can do some type of great defense there to kind of get your opponent away from you. So for anyone who's seated, hands up into our position. For me, for you guys, if you have a little pillow to put there, just scoot a little bit forward, please do so. Otherwise, please bring it your body a little bit forward, because I'm a little bit shorter, so I can't actually lean all the way back. So hands up, and just like in our earlier classes, our front kick on the right side is going to be out, back, and down. So up, out, and down. And I'm going to show that from the side. And it's going to be the same thing on the right, but it is the left. So we're in our position now, right? And again, I have to move up because I'm a little bit shorter. So we're gonna go up, out, bring it back, and down. So it's gonna make up almost like a perfect 90-degree angle when it comes back. And when it comes up, we're gonna chamber up, which means we hold it, out, bring it back, and down. And it's gonna be the same thing on the left side. Again, if anybody has any questions in the chat, please hit up T. I'll be more than happy to repeat myself and break it down further. All right, so for all my people who are standing now, very simple. I'm gonna get into my regular stance for myself. I'm gonna come up here and we're gonna take this 10 times on this leg, 10 times on this leg, and then we're gonna transition into our cool down, okay? All right, so we're gonna go right. So we're gonna do our front kick. We're gonna go up, out, and down. It's 1, up, out, and down, up, out, and down. That's 3. All right, so we're gonna do that to the end of 10, and then we're gonna do it on the left side, and then we're gonna try to alternate at the very end, okay? So we're gonna do our front kicks. We're gonna up, out, and down. Up, out, and down. That's number 5. So up, out, and down. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Notice how I keep my hands up at all times. I never drop my hands. And some with Muay Thai fighters, when they kick, they come like that, and that's not the right way to do it, actually. Not the incorrect way, but the more preferred method is to always protect your face. So if you're here and you throw that kick, someone comes, you have your shields up at all times to protect your face. Then when you get out of my class, always protect your face and get ready to always throw. All right, so we're gonna go into our stance now, and we're gonna come on the left side. So hands up, out, and bring it back. So up, out, and bring it back. That front kick, up, out, and bring it back. So that's 3 now. So out, back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent job, everybody. All right, now we're gonna switch it up real quick. We're gonna do 10 alternate. And for anyone who's start, you can start on the right or the left. Or we're coming down towards the end, so we're gonna speed this up so that we can transition into our cool down. So we're gonna come up now. So pick up the pace within yourself. You know, if not, and whether or not you've been cheating, it's time to pick it up. All right, so ready, hands up, and right, and we're gonna switch over to left. Do your best to keep up, and I'm gonna keep going until I say stop. We're not gonna do a set, we're just gonna keep going now. See, I switched up on you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Excellent. Let's go. 10, 11. I want you to keep going until you're fatigued. If it starts to hurt, you can stop. Please feel free. I stop counting, so when I say stop, that's when you stop. You want to do one side? You can do one side. Right side. Right side. Right side. Left side. Left side. Left side. Switch it up. Right side. Left side. Right side. You got to be ready. Let's do it. All right. Speed it up. All right. Let's slow it down. Last one. Make it count. All right, champ. You did it. We made it to the end of our workout, and we're going to now transition. For anybody who's still going, my heart's up right now, so I'm okay. But if you need to take that walk, for my people who are seated, if you need to just kind of bring our hands up, keep moving those feet, keep moving those arms. It's important. For me personally, I always kind of bring it back to a walk. Nice little walk, nice little jog, bring my heart rate down, cool down with me. And now we're going into our last 5 minutes, which is perfect because now we're going to transition into our cool down. But first, right now, what I want you guys to do is just walk with me. I'm really proud of everybody today. Today was actually a really tough workout, especially when I start to pick it up. So if you're still here with me and you're still going, this sip is for you. Anyone needs to take a water break, please feel free. And in our last 5 minutes, I'm just going to move my chair. For anyone who's seated who likes to remain seated, they can. For these purposes, I kind of like to sit on the floor because for me it's a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to come down now. I'm going to just do my crisscross applesauce position. We can do a couple yoga positions. I kind of want to switch it up. We're going to just do some deep breathing instead because I feel like that's always a good way to kind of level out our heart rate. So for everyone who's remained seated, who's been with me for a very long time or who's still coming, once your heart rate's down and you feel comfortable enough where it's not, eating out of your chest, once you come down, sit down, and we're going to ground. So we're going to take our hands, we're going to place it now on our knees. And if you're seated down, just keep your feet flat on the ground. I want everybody to close their eyes and put their hands on their knees. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take 5 deep breaths. And we're going to go in for 3 seconds. and out for 3 seconds. In for 3 seconds, and out for 3 seconds. Number 3. Out. We're gonna do 2 more. In. Out. And we're gonna do our last one. Out. I want you just to remain with your eyes closed and just continue to breathe. Listen to your heart as it continues to beat. Take a deep breath. Have a moment to thank yourself. Whether you're 25, 35, 45, 85, just take that moment. You're here with us in this new year. For anyone who wants to do just a couple brief just stretches, one thing you could do is like what we were doing earlier today. We can lift our bodies upward and out, almost like a modified warrior position. Up. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Hands up again. Out. Now we're gonna come home.